Hi, it's Jon Mitchell, Mayor of New Bedford, and this is another installment of the Mayor's Weekly Update. So let's talk about COVID, of course. So this week we're seeing some signs of cases dropping, not sharply, but they seem to be sliding, which is good news. Same thing with the positive rate. And what that means is that the vaccines are likely starting to take hold. But we need to pick up the pace. We're still running behind the vaccination rates of the country as a whole and the state as a whole. And so the sooner we can get people to the many mobile clinics around the city and or to their medical providers or the mass vaccination site that the state's running, the better. So again, I encourage everybody to get their vaccines. And look, if you're reluctant at all, what I would just say to you is just go ahead and talk to your doctor about it. They're going to tell you, he'll tell you or she will tell you something, far more authoritative than I ever could about, what's right for your health. So I just defer to the experts. We should all defer to the experts on this. So the second thing I want to talk about today is the city budget. Despite the pandemic, we're still moving forward with everything else that's going on in the city, and that includes the development of this year's budget. This year's budget is on much stronger footing than last year. Last year, as everyone knows, things were very uncertain. We didn't know how long the pandemic would last. We didn't know how deep it would go. Now we have some more visibility. We're getting more state aid in, more federal aid, of course. And so, we're able to put together a budget that's far more stable. It restores some, but not all of the cuts that were made last year. We made some very, very serious cuts over in the last budget. And as a result, there were certain services in city government that really started to be compromised. We're trying to restore some of that now, but we also want our budget to be sustainable in the long run. In other words, we want a budget that allows us to provide the services that our residents expect and deserve, but also to make sure that we're doing it at a level that isn't soaking taxpayers. So that's the balance that we try to strike every year. Last year was hard. This year is not quite as hard, and that's a good thing. So more on that as time goes on with the city council hearings coming up in the next couple of weeks. We'll understand more about where the city council is going with the budget. It's their budget to approve and mine to propose. So that's in their hands now, and we look forward to continuing our dialogue with the council. And then the last thing I'll say is the Vineyard Wind announcement this past week was big news. I mean, this is the approval. The announcement was the approval by the Department of the Interior of their project south of Martha's Vineyard to be deployed from the Port of New Bedford. That will be America's first industrial scale offshore wind farm. So it's a really historic day for the country, but also for our city. And it is going to attract a great deal of business activity here, and there will be jobs that will be created along with it. It's hard to know exactly how many, but there's no doubt that based on the experience that we've seen in Europe with the offshore wind industry, that the investment will be considerable. The Vineyard Wind project is a $3 billion project, and to put that in perspective, if you were to build an NFL stadium today, it would cost in the ballpark of about $1 billion. So you think of this is 3 times the size of the project budget of an NFL stadium, and then there are one project after another in the pipeline after this one. So that's why we've been focusing on offshore wind so much over the years. The other focus at the same time is ensuring that offshore wind doesn't compromise New Bedford's dominance in the fishing industry. We really want to make sure that siting decisions, that is the decisions of where offshore wind turbines should go are done properly with robust input from the fishing industry. We want to make sure all the safety measures are in place to keep our fishermen safe. They do a dangerous job for sure, and it shouldn't be made any more dangerous than it is. So a lot of work ahead, but this is a big thing for New Bedford, and we look forward to the rollout of that industry in the years ahead. So those are the updates for this week. We'll see you again at this time next week.